So today's class, we're talking about, right, eyes on me, focus. Right. In today's class, are you sat down?
Yeah, I'm just setting this up so that I can
Okay, I need no Shweta chaos. I need total concentration. Right. In today's class,
almost done.
You are so ADHD. Do you have any idea how dripping in ADHD you are? You are so ADHD. Right. Focus.
No.
Good. In today's class, we talk about relative pronouns. A relative pronoun is when you introduce a person or an object. So you'll say the coat that Luke is wearing, the woman that lives in LA, the man I write to, the company I work for. So you're linking a person or an object to an activity. So you begin with the person, you begin with the object. So you say, like, the piano she used to play. It's almost as if somebody said, which piano? Which girl? Which girl? The one who lives in America. Which girl? The one called Shweta. Which house? The one Luke lives in. So it's almost, so you're starting with the object. It can be a human being or it can be a chest of drawers, and then you're linking it to the verb. So the first way of doing this that I want you to think about is qui versus que. That's our first dilemma. Just say for me, qui versus que.
Qui versus que.
Right. So in English, this is an absolute mess. This is a total mess. We say the man who lives with me, the man whom I know, the table that is in the kitchen, the table that is in the kitchen, which is in. So we have like that, who, which, whom. Forget English. Let's look at French. French is very clear on this. If I say the man, and before I say anything else, who so far is in charge of my sentence? When I just say the man, before I say anything else, who's in charge of the sentence?
The man.
Right. If the verb that is coming up, if we go from the man and we go straight into a verb. So for example, the man that lives, that's one option. If we bring in a character to do the verb, that's the second option. So the man that Luke knows. I'll say it again. We could go straight to the verb. The program that runs all by itself. The program that runs all by itself. After the word, we go into the verb. The program that Shweta organized. The program that Shweta organized. So we've got the option where we go straight into a verb and the option where we bring up a person or a thing to do the verb. If we go straight into the verb, we will use the word qui. And if we go into a person or a thing doing the verb, we will use que. And that will carry on through a lot of advanced French. If you introduce a subject, that's, the subject, that's the person doing the verb. If you name the person doing the verb, you will use a que. If you don't, you use all other kinds of grammar. So I'm going to say some sentences and I want you to say back to me qui or que. Qui is when you go, I call it A to B equals qui. So that's basically, you start with the person, straight into the verb, nothing else, A to B, straight into the verb. If you bring in a new character, if you bring in somebody to do the verb, you will use que. So I want you to shout back at me qui or que. You ready?
Yeah.
The woman that lives in America. The woman that lives in America. Qui or que?
Qui.
Good, because I've not said somebody's doing the verb. The woman that Luke knows. Yep. The table that is in the hall. The table that is in the hall.
Qui.
Good. The table that we like. The table that we like. It's that simple. Let's translate. So still say for me qui or que. Still just say for me qui or que. Just shout out qui or que. The woman that Luke knows. The woman that Luke knows. Qui or que. Good. So say for me the woman.
La femme Luke savait.
No, but what's the word that's going to go in the middle? La femme.
La
Yeah.
femme
And
que
look at Lucky. The verb we use to know a person is connaître. What's the short form of connaître?
connaît.
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 Good. So said me la femme que Luc connaît. Sing.
La femme
I
que
don't know. I
Luc
don't know.
connaît.
Remember, no Shweta mess. Stay on the previous word. La femme que Luc connaît.
La femme que Luc connaît.
Gorgeous. The woman that lives with me. The woman that lives with me. Qui or que?
The woman, qui?
Good, because the woman that lives. We didn't mention the person doing the verb. So the woman that lives with me.
La femme qui habille avec moi.
Habite.
Habite.
Habiller is to get dressed. Habite. Yeah, habite.
Habite.
Good, okay. If it were habiller, it would be reflexive. Elle s'habille. She gets dressed. She dresses herself. And it would be the short form. Good. Lovely. That's part one. Qui versus que. That's what it is. That's what it is. It could be a table, my darling. It could be a house. It's just if you mention the name of somebody doing a verb, you need to use que. If you go straight into it, the house that was more expensive. Oh, fine. La maison qui. Yeah. Qui means that you already know who's doing the verb and you go straight into the verb. Okay. You can have somebody before the verb. Like, I don't mean the person doing the verb, but you could have a pronoun. So you could say to me, the woman that loves me, la femme qui m'aime. You could pop a me there because that me is not doing the verb. You're not bringing in somebody to do the verb. If you bring in the name of somebody to do the verb after the little word, you need a que. Good. Option 2. Option 2 is suki and sucker. And all we are doing is sticking the word CE before qui and the word CE before que. Now listen up. When in French we say the word what, but it's not a question. You might be like, Luke, what the fuck are you on about? I like what you're wearing. That's a cool t-shirt. I like what you said. It's not a question. I like what you ate last night. It's not a question. We call it properly a non-interrogative what, but it's just what when it's not a question. If you even talk about a question, but you don't actually ask the question, Shweta asked me what I was going to do for dinner. We're talking about a question, but we're not literally saying, what did you do for dinner? So for all of these situations where we're not literally asking a question or we're just saying the word what and it's not a question, we need what we call a non-interrogative what, a non-question what. And non-question what, there are several versions. They always start with the word ce, C-E. They always start with the word ce. Always, always, always. And the first two that we're going to learn now are ce qui and ce que, which are basically the two words we've just learned, but with ce before them. So it's very simple. Like we've just done, if you have a verb that comes after it, ce qui. If you have the name of the person doing the verb, ce que. Just like we did, but we put ce qui, we put ce before it because it's the word what. So if I said, I like what Shweta is wearing, is that ce qui or ce que?
Ce que.
J'aime ce que Shweta porte. I don't like what is happening in the Middle East. To happen is to pass itself, se passer. I don't like what is happening in the Middle East, ce qui or ce que.
What?
Look at me, look at me. Are we going straight into a verb? Listen,
Yes,
I
yes.
don't like what is. Did we go straight into a verb?
Yeah.
Yep. So we didn't. Good girl. Nice work. All right. So j'aime pas ce qui se passe. It's that simple. You could start a sentence with it. What Luke said was stupid. What Luke said was stupid. This isn't a question. So what did Luke say? It's what Luke said. So if it's saying what Luke said, is that ce qui or ce que?
Ce que.
That's it. Ce que Luc a dit était stupide. Just say that for me, my darling. Ce que Luc a dit était stupide.
Ce que Luc a dit est stupide.
Give me was stupid, just to be correct. Était stupide.
Était stupide.
Good. We could say what is strange in France is. So what is strange? Ce qui ou ce que?
Ce que.
Hang on. Listen. What is strange? Did we go straight into a verb?
No.
Yes. What's the word after what here? What is strange?
What?
What literally, Shweta, what word comes after what here? What is strange?
Yeah.
What word is coming after what?
Is.
Is that a verb?
No.
Is?
Yes, it is.
So is it going to be ce qui or ce que?
We are going straight into the verb, right? So it is going to be ce qui.
That's it. So ce qui est bizarre, what is weird, is that a que. Fine. All right. So that's our first two things. So qui and que is when you mention a thing, and then you have to. So the man. So you mention the thing, you mention the person, the man. And sometimes in English we don't even use a word. We go the man, Luke knows. We don't even say anything. But in French it'd be l'homme, Luke. Oh no, we've introduced Luke to do the verb. So l'homme que Luke connaît. Yeah. And then if we say what, we've got ce qui or ce que. We've got some other sus words coming later, but those are the two to begin with now. Right. Now we come on to one very significant change. Everything we've just done, no one cares if it's a person or if it's a chest of drawers. It could be your trendy grey t-shirt. It could be your long hair. It could be the television. It could be Luke. It could be, Luke's ex-husband. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. But now we're coming on to something which will change whether or not it is a human being or a person. Or shut up, Luke, or a non-human being. So let's just remind ourselves in English what a preposition is, because most of us, unless we work in language, don't know what a preposition really is. A preposition is a little tiny word which will go before a noun in a position prior to a noun. So, for example, in the house, by the house, to the house, from the house, under the house, next to the house. Notice it can be more than one word. Okay, these are prepositions. Let's just check that we know the main ones in French. What's the word for in?
Sorry, what?
For in.
In is going to be a.
That it can be like at, as in at, but it can also be dans, as in physically in. Dans,
Okay.
D-A-N-S, yeah? What's the word for beginning with a P?
Pour.
Good job. Pour. What's the word for with beginning with an A?
Avec.
What's on? What's the word for to beginning with one letter?
A.
Good. What's the word for from beginning with a D?
De.
De. We're not in Spanish. De. Like le. L-E, le. What's the word for of? Same word.
De.
What's de? And
De.
what's the word for about? Same word.
De.
We're good. Okay. We've got expressions like à propos de or au sujet de, but de for the moment will work. Good. And what beginning with an S is the preposition for without?
Sans.
Sans. Good job. Good vocab.
Sans.
Well done. Good job. Well done. So, with me, avec moi, avec toi, for him, pour lui, pour elle, we've done prepositions. Now, in English, modern English, we are allowed to finish a sentence in a preposition. The man I live with, the company I'm writing to. But in formal English, and you still often hear this in, particularly you often hear this in India because people learn English very nicely as a second language, and so they speak quite correctly, or you often get it in older speakers. I sometimes tell people just to imagine they're watching an old play or Oscar Wilde or something like this. So instead of saying the man, I mean I would say this in my own English so the man I live with in older English will be the man with
Whom I live.
Spot on. Whom for human being. So we take the preposition that was at the end, the man I live with. We then take it, the man with whom I live.
Mm.
The company I work for. Now, company is not human. So the company for
Which?
which, spot on, good girl, high five. I don't mean this meanly, but sometimes Americans struggle with this. So it's nice when it's someone that comes from a place
There's,
where they do this.
no, there's always that in American
I
English.
don't mean this meanly, but it's not a grammar area that younger Americans would be comfortable with. Well done. So for the next session of the class, for anything we're doing, any single time in French, you use a preposition this way round. So this would mean the relative pronoun way. So the normal way would be the person, the verb, the preposition. So a normal sentence would be subject, object. So I speak. Fine, je parle. That's just subject and verb. Je parle. We can have an object. I speak the language. Je parle la langue. That's subject, verb, and object. We could bring in a preposition. I speak with the woman. Je parle avec la femme. And the woman is the object. You know, we can have an object without a preposition. I know the woman. Je connais la femme. If we go object first, so that's basically what a relative pronoun is. You know, so if it's like, well, no, not necessarily. It could be the subject, but if you kind of like this thing that's doing whatever, whatever. So if you sort of say the man, and then you quantify it, you qualify it with I live with, the man I work for, any single time that you are using the next bit that ends in a preposition in English, you need to use a system that I call Auntie Lukey's 5-point star. Any single time you use a preposition, apart from one example, we're going to use Auntie Lukey's 5-point star. And Auntie Lukey's 5-point star consists of, first, step one is you say the preposition. So you say avec or pour or de or à or sans, you're going to say it, and you're going to put that in the middle of your hand. Then you're going to go round the star and you are going to pick one option, either the human one, either the male, non-human, female, non-human, plural male, non-human, plural female, non-human. So let's look. So if you say with whom, so you say avec first, whom in French is exactly the same word as who. It's just qui.
Qui.
So how would you say with whom?
Avec qui?
Nice. How would you say for whom?
Per qui?
Good. How would you say from whom?
De qui.
Good. It's that simple. So the man I work for, in posh English, would be the man for whom I work. L'homme pour qui je travaille. Our first choice, the human one. Pour qui. The man I write to, the man to whom I write. L'homme à qui j'écris. Just say that to me. L'homme à qui j'écris.
L'homme à qui j'écris.
You do not ever do the other way in French. Even if you were really like a piece of shit selling drugs on the corner of the street, this is how you'd speak in French, right? So our next four all involve the word quel. Now you've probably heard quel, like quel âge as-tu? How old are you? Quelle couleur? Quel means what or which when you are dealing with a noun. What, when you are dealing with a verb, we commonly say qu'est-ce que, which is short for what it, but it's not short for it, does mean what is it that you do. So qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? That's what when it's a verb. So what are you eating? Qu'est-ce que tu manges? Or as we'll see later, you can say tu manges quoi? Or even que manges-tu? So we've got these three different ways of doing what with a verb. None of them are quel. Quel is not for verbs. Quel is not for verbs. Quel has four spellings. Q-U-E-L, Q-U-E-L-S, masculine plural, Q-U-E-L-L-E, feminine, Q-U-E-L-L-E-S, feminine plural, and they all sound identical. They all sound identical. Quel, quel, quel. You might as well spell it K-E-L. In fact, people often write slang quel, you know, K-E-L. So when you say quel, if the noun in full, and I mean in full, watch this because otherwise it gets tricky. the noun in full. So the owl, the flower, the sky. I don't know why I said an owl. There's just a lamp here with an owl. The television, the chair, the fireplace, the picture, the lamp, the wall. If the noun comes after the word quel, either immediately after or a couple of words later in a question, that's fine. You can keep it as quel. In short, if the noun doesn't come after quel, either immediately after it or a couple of words later in a question, we have to put the word the before quel. So quel is a very needy little creature. It either needs the noun or it needs le, la, lay, quel. So if I said what colour, is the noun after the word what when I say what colour? Which colour?
Yes.
So how would you say which colour?
Quelle couleur?
Spot on. High five. Well done. If I said what is your favourite colour, the noun is after the word quel, but it is after the noun word quel. So you can still use quel. Quelle est ta couleur préférée? What is your colour preferred? What is your favourite colour? So you can still use quel. Okay? If I said the man with, actually no, there's two things for quel actually. If you say, so we're talking about lequel, laquelle, and lesquels. Yeah. So lequel masculine, laquelle feminine, lesquels with the masculine spelling, lesquels with the feminine spelling. There's two times you use this in French. There's only two, and both times they represent a noun. The first option is on its own, just completely the fuck on its own. So if I say this house is my house, if I'm using the noun, Shweta, how would I say which house if I'm using the noun?
Luke's house.
No. How would I just say which? How would I say which house in French if I'm using the noun?
Quelle maison?
Good, because you can hear the word maison. If referring to a noun, and this is actually what we're going to be doing next week, a lot of the time when we talk about nouns, we're all aware of the noun we're talking about, but we don't say it. So, for example, I could say, Shweta, say you come to London and I say, let me take you out somewhere nice. Shweta, you've worked really hard. Let's go out for like a champagne. And then I say, right, I'm going to put a jacket on. And I say, Shweta, which jacket do you think I should wear? This one or that one? That's referring to nouns. By saying this one or that one, you could say, oh, Luke, I like the blue one. You're not saying in full the blue jacket, you're saying the blue one. Again, it's referring to a noun. You could say which one, referring to a noun. But we don't. So everybody involved knows the noun we're talking about. Okay, but we're not saying the noun. So that is when it's a pronoun. So when we say which one, as long as we know what we're on about, so feminine house, laquelle. That house there is Luke's house. Which house? Quelle maison? Or which one? Laquelle. That house there, that masculine, that flat is Luke's flat. Which one? Lequel. Those boots are Luke's boots. Which boots? Lesquels. Which ones? Lesquels. So that's the first option when we use lequel, is when we're literally saying which one, which ones. And I'll let you in, you can actually use lequel, laquelle that way about human beings as well. That's fine about human beings. Which boy? Quel garçon? Which one? Lequel. Which girl? Quelle fille? Laquelle. Which one? Laquelle. So you can absolutely use that for human beings. The second option when you use lequel, laquelle, lesquels is after a preposition. Preposition plus lequel. Preposition plus laquelle. Preposition plus lesquels. Preposition plus lesquels. And that is for with whom. So if it was a masculine object, avec lequel. So with which, avec lequel. With which, if it's a feminine object, avec laquelle. With which, if it's plural, avec lesquels. Feminine plural, avec lesquels. Side note, you can say avec lequel for with whom, but it's very formal. It's very, very formal. So we prefer to say avec qui. So our five options are qui, lequel, laquelle, lesquels, lesquels. So say the preposition and then put one of those bastards after it. So let's do some sentences. Step 1, give it me in posh English. Step 2, let's do the 5-point star. It's very, very easy. So the company I work for. Could you please say it for me in posh English? The company I work for.
The company that I've
The company
for the company for which I work.
Exactly. Right. So the word for the company is going to be la société. Notice we need the gender, because what do we automatically know if we're talking about a noun? It's gender and whether it's singular or plural. We know that in French all the time. So if I'm saying la société, are we male or female?
Female.
And are we singular or plural?
Singular.
Great. So before we even get going, which one of my words am I going to be using for which? Lequel, laquelle, lesquels, lesquels.
Laquelle.
Spot on. So how would I say for which?
Per laquelle.
Fucking flawless work. Well done. So la société pour laquelle je travaille. That is it. Let's say the department I work with. Department in France. By the way, jumping ahead, a department in France is also the administrative subdivision of France. So in the way that America has states and the UK has counties, France divides itself into départements. And that's what the numbers are. So when you have like 75 or, whatever the fucking number is at the beginning, it will be based on the department. So that's also a department. But say we're in a company. And if we said the department I work with. So question 1, could you just pop the department I work with into posh English?
The department for which I work.
Should we say with which I work? Let's do the with one, yep.
Okay.
The department with which. Yep.
Yeah, the department with which I work.
So if it's le département, masculine. Have a go at the department with which I work.
Le département avec lequel je travaille.
High five. You've totally understood the assignment. Well done. Good job. Okay. Good. Next thing. That's fine for most prepositions. Avec lequel, avec laquelle, avec qui, pour lequel, pour laquelle, whatever. However, I don't know if you've come across this yet in your French journey, but a and de combine with the word the. So if you say a, but it's got to mean the. If you use le or les plural and you mean a pronoun, they don't join. So to start is commencer à. We always put à after commencer. So I'm going to start to do it. Je vais commencer à le faire. The le here is like a pronoun, like we've learned in pronoun week. It doesn't mean the, it means a pronoun. So you can't join it if it means a pronoun. I am going to start eating them. Je vais commencer à les manger. You cannot join à and les. But everywhere that you have le, meaning the, if it comes after a, any idea what a and le form together to make?
Oh.
So I'm going to the cinema. Je vais au cinéma. Yeah, au. Yeah. I'm going to the shops, plural. What do a and les make?
Les.
No, they make o with an X.
Oh yeah.
So I'm speaking to the woman. Je parle à la femme. No problem. Female doesn't join. Male joins. I'm speaking to the boy. Je parle au garçon. You can't say I'm speaking to the man, and it would, because that would be je parle à l'homme with the apostrophe. So you couldn't do that. But if you said I'm speaking to the boy, je parle au garçon. If you said I'm speaking to the women, je parle aux femmes. A-U-X though. Yeah. You'd link it if you said I'm speaking to the men, you'd say je parle aux hommes. You'd pronounce the X at the end of it. Yeah. So a and le become o. A and la the same as normal, no problem. A and les become o. Therefore, if you've got to which, the a to whom, à qui, no problem. To which, à lequel become auquel. À laquelle, stays à laquelle. À and lesquels become auquel. Auquel. To which. So the companies I write to, les sociétés auxquelles, à lesquelles, auxquelles j'écris. So just be careful with à, that some of them are going to join. So I teach à and I go à qui, and I swap the order. I go feminine first. I say à qui, à laquelle, auquel. So you just remember that you basically got a lot with auquel. Good. Likewise, Shweta, if we've got de. Again, if le and la mean pronouns, we don't join them. So I've just eaten. In French, we say I come from eating. Je viens de manger. I've just eaten it. Je viens de le manger. We do not join. But if the le and the la and the lay were the word the, de and le becomes, any idea what de and le becomes?
De.
Do.
Oh, yeah.
Do. Got to have the, yeah. Because otherwise it would just be the same word. Do. So if you said, now let's not get confused. You will also see do and day for some. Some chocolate, masculine, du chocolat. So we use this de and the option. I forgot to tell them that on Tuesday, actually. We use this de and the option for the word some. Some, du chocolat. Some children, des enfants. You do see this. But de and le become du. What did I just say? De and lay become?
De.
Good. It rhymes with lay, doesn't it? De and lay, day, joins. De and la, no fucking problem. No fucking problem. Just be careful to say dola, not della, which is like Italian. Yeah, so dola. Okay, good. Okay, lovely. So if I said the company I received a letter from, the company from which? So say for me the company, la société.
La société de laquelle.
Lovely. There's no problem there, is there? There's no problem there because that doesn't join. If it was de and lequel, if it was the department I receive a message from, le département. What
De
de
lequel.
du
lequel.
Duquel. You can't say du lequel because it's already joined. Duquel. Yeah, you've got rid of the L. And if it was the plural, what would it be?
Dequel.
Spot on. Well done. Straight into it. Okay. That's only the problem. Good. Our next thing. You're doing really, 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 really well. Our next thing is actually nice. It's not a problem. It's not a complication. It's actually an easier thing. I told you, and you beautifully got at the beginning of the class, that the word de can mean from, about, and of. If you are using from, you get to use I'll use the same hand. You get to use the 5-point star. Anytime you use the word de to mean from, you get to use the 5-point star. As in duquel, de laquelle, desquels, de qui. No, desquels twice. Let's do it properly. De qui, duquel, de laquelle, desquels. You get to use the de and the quel, qui, whatever stuff. However, any other time, if your de means about, if your de means of, so about whom, about which, from whom, about whom, about which, of whom, of which. Basically, anything not de. You think de, like if you think of from as an action coming from, it looks like the 5-point star. Anytime you don't mean from, and you are using a de, where you would say duquel, de laquelle, desquels, de qui, for all those 5, you are going to say a beautiful, simple word, also beginning with a D. You are going to say don, D-O-N-T, don. It's so easy. It basically is a reversed de. It is a reversed de. So if I said, for example, I speak about the girl, how would you say I speak?
Je parle dans la fille.
No, we haven't gone the way around yet. Just say I speak.
Je parle.
What was my preposition for about?
Dans.
No, just my original one.
De.
We only use the don when we reverse. So in the sentence order, Shweta, I speak. Is that the subject? I speak. Is that the subject?
Yes.
It's really important we know that the subject is the person doing the verb. So I speak, je parle. We're not going to use dans. Dans is when we reverse it, when we go object, subject.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the other way round. A dans is a reversed de. So say for me, I speak
Je parle
about
de la fille.
de la fille, de la fille.
De la fille.
Pardon me on these two. These are fucked up words. The word for girl is fille. You don't pronounce the L's. The word for city or town in France is ville, ville, and you pronounce the L's. There's a town in the north on the Eurostar called Lille, and you pronounce the L's. But the word girl, fille, you don't pronounce the L's, and the word family, famille, you don't pronounce the L's. All right. Likewise, the word for son ends in an S. You should normally in French not pronounce the consonants at the end of the letter, at the end of the word. But because it comes from Latin, like filius and all this business, we say fils. So son and daughter, fille and fils, daughter, they're fucked up. They're fucked up. Okay. So, say for me, I talk about the girl. Je parle de la fille.
Je parle de la fille.
Great. If I reversed it and I said, so we've got je parle de la fille. If I reversed it and went object first, the girl I talk about, what did I say a reverse de was?
Dont.
So say for me the girl I talk about, la fille.
La fille dont je parle.
Flawless. Now, when we say need and when we get up into conversation week, I actually prefer these two expressions. When you need to do a verb, you use devoir. Do you remember that verb to have to?
Devoir.
I need to eat, je dois manger. I need a coffee. We use it to me is necessary, il me faut. And we'll talk about that when we get up to conversation week, which is only one more week after this. So basically, il me faut. But that said, we also have a very general multi-purpose expression involving the word besoin. I don't know if you've come across that before. So you use it with the verb. So besoin is besoin. Would you please say besoin?
Besoin.
And that is a need. Like if you said my needs are very easy, mes besoins. Old word, very old French. So if you say I need, you say in French, I have need of. J'ai besoin de. Would you please say I need for me?
J'ai besoin
De. Put the de on the end.
de. J'ai besoin de.
Good. Say for me he needs. He has need of.
Il besoin de.
Learn the pattern. You've just said j'ai. So what's the he version going to be?
Il est besoin de.
What he has. Il.
J'ai doué. Il est. Il est besoin.
Why are we jumping from have to be and be to have? What is I have?
I have is j'ai.
Good. What is he has? Il a.
Il a.
Thank you. So say he needs.
Il a besoin de.
Don't be Spanish. Besoin
de.
Good.
De.
Good. So we've got do, and we've got these sounds today. Do, they, do. Give me du, do.
Du.
Nice. Give me des, day.
De.
Give me de, do.
De.
Good. The basic bitch word is de. Do is a join. Do means de and le. It's a join. Day is de and lay. It's a join. The basic ass word is de. Good. You can do a D apostrophe like to something else, but yeah, good. So basically, if you say he needs the cream is feminine, la crème. Could you please say for me, he has need of the cream? How would you say that?
Il a besoin de la crème.
Flawless. Careful not to say della, it's de la.
De la.
Do you remember lesson 1? And I said everything in French is either chest or head, apart from the sound O. So, il a besoin de la crème. Il a besoin de la crème. Let me hear you say it. Il a besoin de la crème.
Il a besoin de la crème.
Gorgeous. Good work. So if we reversed it, the cream he needs, we keep the subject. Now this time it's a phrasal verb. Who gives a shit? It's still the subject. Il a besoin. We keep the object, la crème. We swap them round. We say the cream he needs, but we can't have de in the middle anymore. We swap a de. What did we say? A de becomes what word did we say?
Don.
Dot. That's it. Don. So could you please save me the cream he needs?
La crème dont il a besoin.
Good. Nothing changes on either side.
Mhm.
Now, as and when we get more advanced, we will be using what we call ABC verbs. And most teachers don't teach non-French people ABC verbs. I'll be really honest, they don't, because they're just complicated. But they don't have to be complicated. So it's a verb where you have a reflexive, like you've done, but as well as the reflexive, you then have a de or an a or a preposition on the end. So, for example, to remember is I remember myself of, je me souviens de. He deals with, he occupies himself of, il s'occupe de. So you basically have a reflexive on the left, then your verb, then one of these prepositions. So if you were using one of these prepositions with de, you will use don. So if it's like, I look after the situation, so I occupy myself of the situation. You don't need to know this now. This is just me making the point. So je m'occupe de la situation. Fancy verb. Je m'occupe de la situation. The situation I look after. La situation dont je m'occupe. If you're using an ABC verb, if you're using the verb with de and you reverse it, you are going to use this massively brilliant word DONT. Dont. Good. Right. Final section. You're doing very well. We, in my method, divide verbs into 3 colors: red, blue, and green. That sounds batshit crazy, but I swear to God, this is going to make sense. All grammar, now this isn't the tense, this has got nothing to do with the tense, but there are 5 ways of organizing a sentence. I'm going to give you these 5 definitions, and I want you to see if you can beat the guys last Tuesday and see if you can remember them from me saying them. Listen to the change that takes place between every line to see if you can remember it. Okay, I'm going to want 5 said back to me. Subject, object. Subject, object, pronoun. What was different between 1 and 2? Here's 3.
Pronoun.
Ready? You keep it yourself? Here's 3. Object, subject. Yeah, what did we do? What did we do compared to where we started? So we've had
Yes.
subject, object,
Mhm.
subject, object, pronoun, object, subject. You think how that links to what we've heard already?
Mhm.
Question what? Non-question what? Yep. Question what? Non-question what? Do you think you can give me your 5 definitions back to me? Have a little go.
Subject, object,
Good.
pronoun,
Good.
object, subject,
Good.
John or John what?
No. Question what and non-question what?
Question what and non-question what? Yes.
Almost. You're the same as them. You needed one reminder. Damn. I thought you might be the one to break the curse. So listen again. Subject, object, pronoun, object, subject, question what, non-question what. Have a go.
Subject, object, pronoun, object, subject, question what, non-question what.
Fucking brilliant work. You will not get another version of a sentence apart from that. That's basically how you use verbs. So let's go through them. Now, the 3 colors are, so basically these are 15 sentences. And if you can do these 15 sentences, your French is badass good. Your French is brilliant. The 3 colors are green, red, and blue. If your verb does not need a preposition, it does not need a or de, the verb is green, green for go. So, for example, je fais le travail. I do le travail. There's no a or de between it. Yeah, do you remember when we did direct? There's just nothing. Okay, so that is green, green for go. So we have green verbs. Some verbs can be red, blue, and green depending on how they've been used. Red verbs are verbs that when you say the subject object work, the subject object order, that there is a de. There is a de. So, for example, je parle de la fille. There's a de. So that is red. Just think de is a warm sound, red is a warm color. De. If your verb uses an a, yeah, like je pense à l'église, I'm thinking of the church. A is a cold sound. A. That is blue. So what colour is it if there are no prepositions, Shweta?
Green.
What colour is it if it's a cold sound with a?
Blue.
What colour is it if it's a red sound with d?
It's red.
Luke, you idiot. Good. So, what every French student does wrongly is use green grammar, all those 5 versions that we're about to look at, for everything. That's what all French students fuck up and do. And I'm saying you are going to be better than them. You're going to go, it's a red verb. We can't use green grammar. It's a blue verb. We can't use red or green grammar. We've got to use blue grammar. They're similar, but very different. So, if I gave you the sentence, I eat the cake, let's just in English go through those 5 situations first. So, I eat the cake, that's the subject and that's the subject and the object in full. Subject and object in full. I eat the cake. What would the subject pronoun in English be? How would you say the sentence in English if it was subject, object as a pronoun?
I eat it.
I eat it. Good job. What would it be if we went back to full, but we went object, subject? So our original was I eat the cake. What would it be with object, subject? It'd be
the cake I eat.
Good. And you'll notice that that arrangement is our relative pronoun. That's what we're doing today. You start with a thing and you justify it with, a verb. Good. Then we've got our question what. What am I eating? Fairly fucking rudimentarily obvious. Yeah. Then in order to be allowed to use our non-question what, we need another verb, minimum. So it would be Luke knows what I'm eating, or Shweta understands what we're doing. So for the purposes of the class, we're just going to say Luke knows. Luke knows shit, but we just use this. So in other words, a full 5 would be I eat the cake, I eat it, the cake I eat. What am I eating? Luke knows what I eat. All right, that would be our basic 5. Yeah. Let's see with the green verb what that grammar all is. So I eat the cake. Would you please just say for me, I eat the cake?
I eat the cake.
Now translate it in French.
Je le mange au gâteau. Le gâteau.
And again, je mange le gâteau.
Je mange le gâteau.
Great. The pronoun version, I eat it, bearing in mind it's a masculine cake. Yeah. How do you say I eat it?
Je le mange.
Good. You think we were only learning pronouns a few weeks ago? You've now got it under your belt. Good job. Well done, that woman. The relative pronoun, if we look at the beginning of today's class, the cake blank I eat, did we bring in somebody to do the verb?
No.
Hang on, listen.
No, no, we got someone.
So is that going to be ki or ka?
It will be going to be ka.
I should fucking help so. Well done. So our most common relative pronoun is que. Le gâteau que je mange. Brilliant work. Right. Then we come on to the question option. I told you already in today's class, how do we use what for a verb?
Qu'est-ce que?
Good. Qu'est-ce que je mange? We can also use je mange quoi. So you can put the word quoi, meaning what, after the verb there. Je mange quoi. You can also say que mange tu or que mange. Less common for je, but it's basically if you use que to mean what, that's fine, but you then have to invert. You must always then put the verb first. So if you look at the word qu'est-ce que, it is actually the word what, then a swap of ce and a, say it is, C-E-E-S-T. So you've got qu'est-ce que. Itself, qu'est-ce que is its own inversion anyway. So whenever you use que, use an inversion. So say for me, qu'est-ce que je mange?
Qu'est-ce que je mange?
And earlier, what was our word for what when it was not a question? When we went into a person next, it was ce.
Quel? No.
What were our 2 words?
Ce qui, ce quel.
And which one am I going to use if I go into a person next? If I mention the person doing the verb, ce qui or ce que?
This one I don't remember.
Yes, you do. Remember, it was the same rules as qui and que. If I then say who's doing the verb, was it qui or
ce que? Ce que.
So if it was Luke knows what I eat, Luke sait ce que je mange.
Mhm.
Just say that for me. Luke sait ce que je mange.
Luke sait ce que je mange.
So the 5 sentences of power for green are je mange le gâteau, je le mange. Sorry, apologies. Le gâteau que je mange, qu'est-ce que je mange? Luke say ce que je mange. All right?
Yeah.
Good. They're my 5 sentences of power for the green. I'll obviously ask you those next week. Great. Obviously, the le could be a la, lay, whatever. Right. Then we come to dead verbs have which preposition?
Oh, yeah. It is fading out.
Which preposition dead verbs have?
Oh, sorry. Let me just fade it out for a minute. Can you say that again?
That's right. Which preposition do red verbs have? They have the.
The red verbs are
Which preposition do they have? They have.
the.
Thank you. So say to me, I talk about the situation. Actually, no. Let's check our English. So let's check our 5 with English. So subject, object. So say to me, I talk about the situation.
Subject, object.
Yep. Then what would be subject, object pronoun? I talk about.
I talk about it.
Good. What would be the object, subject, the situation?
The situation I talked about. No, the
I talk
situation.
about. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Great. What would be the question? What do I
talk about?
And good. And what would be the non-question? What? Luke knows what.
Luke knows the situation I'm talking about.
Luke knows what I'm talking about. Remember,
Whatever.
It's all about non-question what. Yeah, word what. Yeah. Good. So say to me, I talk about the situation. Je parle.
Je parle de la situation. De la situation.
So when we say I talk about it, our gut instinct is to say le, la, les, because we're used to using that for it. But any idea? I made you practice sentences with these 2 little words in actually. What single word do we use as a pronoun when the verb uses de? Any idea? When we need to make a pronoun, the verb originally used de, 2-letter word, beginning with a vowel. Any idea what word we're going to use instead of le, la, les?
Oh.
En. 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 Let me hear you say it. En. Good. I know elsewhere it means in, like en France. Yeah, but here it means it's the pronoun. We don't use it for human beings unless it's plural. So if you say, for example, I talk about her, you wouldn't say Jean parle. You'd say je parle d'elle. You'd use the full version. So say to me, I talk about it, then to say Jean parle.
Jean parle.
Yeah, all we're doing, So he has need of the cream. Il a besoin de la crème. He has need of it. Il en a besoin. Just use the pronoun en. And you know where pronouns go, Shweta, they go before the verbs. Right? Il en a bits before verbs, except for infinitive. Then we come to our relative pronoun. But we're safe because we know what a reverse de is, don't we, Shweta? We know what that word is. What word do we use for reverse de?
Don't.
Good. So how would you say the situation I talk about? La situation.
La situation dont je parle.
Great. Then we come to our questions. We cannot use qu'est-ce que. We cannot use qu'est-ce que because it's a red verb. And when we use qu'est-ce que, when we use what for a red verb, we use quoi again. But we need to keep the preposition. So what am I talking about? Je parle de quoi? What does he need? Il a besoin de quoi? Or de quoi a-t-il besoin? We could reverse it. Or de quoi tu parles? What are you talking about? You can say de quoi or at the beginning or de quoi at the end. But it's got to be de quoi. It's got to have some reference to the fact that it's red. And then the bottom one, I know what you're talking about. You cannot say ce qui because it's going into a person doing it. I know what you. We cannot say ce que because it's not a green. So we're going to come up with a very strange combination of dont and ce que, which is ce dont. So I know what you're talking about. Je sais ce dont tu parles. That's going to be our what whenever the verb is red. Ce dont. Think it's a combination of ce qui and and dont. So our 5 sentences of power for the red are je parle de la situation, j'en parle, la situation dont je parle de quoi, Luc sait ce dont je parle. Right? There's our 5. Well, 5 more and you're done. You're doing very, very well. These involve the preposition à. We're going to use a very similar sentence. So we're not going to say je parle de la situation. We're going to say I think about the situation. But. Very confusingly to students in French, if you ask someone a question, as in, what do you think of, like as an opinion, you can use penser de. But if it's like something's just come into your head, as in, what are you thinking about? Like, what's just literally passed into your head? Not like, what is your opinion? It's literally what's just come into your mind right now. Then we use penser à. Yep. You might think an opinion is a bigger thing. De is a longer word. Just come into your brain. À is a shorter word. So say for me, I'm thinking about the situation. Say, je pense à la situation.
Je pense à la situation.
What was the single lettered word that gives me a pronoun and you can never use this about human beings. What's the single lettered word that we are going to use to mean it when we're talking about a blue verb? Any idea? E. Letter Y.
Okay.
A lot of you guys think it means there. Like j'y vais. It doesn't. It's a replacement for a on what would have come after a. It's a replacement when you have an a and what would come after the a. So a le, la, les is replacement for one word. An en is replacement for de plus a word. An e is replacement for a plus a word. So I'm going to Paris. Je vais à Paris. I'm going there. J'y vais. All right. So I'm thinking about it. J'y pense.
J'y pense.
The situation I'm thinking of, so we've originally got an a, so it's going to be la situation to which I'm thinking, la situation à laquelle je pense. Yeah, like our original 5-point star. Yeah. What am I thinking of? Super easy. We can't say qu'est-ce que because it's not a green. We said de quoi in the red. And now we're with the a, so we're going to say à quoi. What am I thinking of? Je pense à quoi? If I said to sign up to, so he's signing up to, s'inscrire à, to sign yourself up to. If I said, right, he's signing up to the gym, il s'inscrit à la salle de sport, the sports room. Il s'y inscrit, he signs up to it. The gym he signs up to, la salle de sport à laquelle il s'inscrit, same shit. Yeah, so à laquelle. What is he signing up to? Il s'inscrit à quoi? He signs up to what? And then instead of saying ce qui or ce que or ce dont, we've now got another fucked up combination, which is ce à quoi. So we're actually going to use the one just above with a ce à quoi. So your combination of blue is je pense à la situation, j'y pense, la situation à laquelle je pense. What am I thinking of? Je pense à quoi? Luke knows what I'm thinking of. Luke say ce à quoi je pense. They are, oh my God, 59 and 40 seconds. Luke, well done. That is literally our 15 sentences of power. Shall we have a go and see, for the sake of 2 more minutes, if you can remember the 5 in each of the colors, if I give you a little reminder. So I'll say them all, listen. Je mange le gâteau, je le mange. Le gâteau que je mange. Qu'est-ce que je mange? Luke say ce que je mange. That was green. Je parle de la situation. J'en parle. La situation dont je parle. Je parle de quoi? Luke say ce dont, combo, je parle. Je pense à la situation. J'y pense. La situation à laquelle je pense. It could be à qui, depending on the sentence, but that's the one we're going to say for now. La situation à laquelle je pense. Je pense à quoi, like we had de quoi. And instead of ce dont, we'll have ce à quoi. So Luke say ce à quoi je pense. Let's try the greens first. So say for me, I'll give you the sentence. You haven't got to come up with the order. Next week, you come up with the order. So say for me, I eat the cake.
Je mange le gâteau.
Good. That's 1 down out of 15. I eat it.
Je le mange.
Great. The cake I eat.
Le cake I eat.
Le gâteau.
Le gâteau que je mange.
Good. What am I eating? Cake. Green question, nice basic what?
Qu'est-ce que je mange?
Good. One more of the greens. Luke knows what I'm eating. Our most basic non-what. Our most basic non-question what. Luke knows what I'm eating. Luke say.
Luke say qu'est-ce que je mange?
Non-question. Luke says so.
Luke say ce que je mange.
It's not a question, is it? Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. On to the reds. I'm speaking about the situation.
Je parle de la situation.
Good. The situation. Sorry. I'm speaking about it. I need the pronoun. What was the pronoun for red? Little word beginning with E. Little word beginning with E.
On.
So say for me, I'm speaking about
the situation. J'en parle.
No. We can't say situation because we've replaced it.
Yeah. J'en parle.
That's it. You can't do both. Lovely. Now we get to say number 3, the situation I'm speaking about. What was the reverse de? La situation.
La situation dont je parle.
Fucking brilliant work. Well done. Now we've got the question 1, but remember we can't use qu'est-ce que. So say for me, what am I speaking about? Je parle de.
Je parle de. Sorry, what was that?
Remember when we were in green? One of our options was qu'est-ce que je mange or je mange
quoi? Quel?
No. Je mange quoi? Yes.
Quoi? Je mange quoi? So
if we're in the red, we've got to use the de. So je parle de.
Je parle de quoi?
Good. And we don't have ce que. If it's Luke knows what I'm talking about, Luke says what was my non-question what for the reds? Luke says ce dont.
Ce dont.
Okay.
Luke says ce dont.
Je parle. All right. It's going to have to take after. Lovely. I'm thinking the situation. Je pense.
Je pensais à la situation. Je pensais à la situation.
Why pense? We've not got into the was. Je pense à la situation.
Je pense à la situation.
You could use other tenses here. It's not about the tense. You could do all of these with the different tense, but it's the point. Now give me I think about it. J'y
pense.
Good. The situation I'm thinking of.
La situation
No, e's a replacement. We're now using our look. What do we use once Luki's 5-point start? We need to say the preposition. What's the preposition that we're playing? What preposition are we playing with if we're in the blue? If we're playing with the so la situation à la.
La situation à la part.
No. Stand still. Stop fucking guessing. If Auntie Luki's 5-point star is involved, it means we say the preposition and then one of the 5 points. À laquelle.
Yeah.
La situation à laquelle je pense.
La situation à laquelle je pense.
Good. What was my question form? Not de quoi, but je pense à
quoi.
Good. Well done. And not ce dont, but ce à quoi. Luke knows what I'm talking about. Luke says ce à.
C'est quoi.
Good. So my 5 are. So when you watch this back, make sure you watch the last 2 minutes, just if you need a quick reminder. My 5 are. Je mange le gâteau, je le mange. Le gâteau que je mange. Qu'est-ce que je mange? Could also say je mange quoi, que mange, but let's stick with the main two. Qu'est-ce que je mange? Je mange quoi? Or Luke say ce que je mange. On to the reds. Je parle de la situation. J'en parle. La situation dont je parle. Je parle de quoi? Luke say ce dont je parle. Good. On to the blues. Je parle, shut up Lucky. Je pense à la situation. J'y pense. La situation à laquelle je pense. Je pense à quoi? Luc sait ce à quoi je pense. Get those down. Make sure if you want to do something really cool, don't just go down, go down, go down. Go across. So think on the top one. What is the first sentence? Nothing. Je mange le gâteau. No, nothing. What's the equivalent in a red? Je parle de la situation. What's the equivalent in a blue? Je pense à la situation. So we've got nothing, de, and à. Then let's go down to the pronouns. What's the pronouns in the second one? Je le mange. What's the equivalent of le in a red? On. J'en parle. What's the equivalent of an it in a blue? I. J'y pense. Work that way. Think what are the equivalents. Then what's the relative pronoun? Le gâteau que je mange. What's the equivalent of que in a red? Dans. La situation dont je parle. What's the equivalent of that with a blue? La situation à laquelle je pense. I've deliberately given you the word la situation twice, but be careful. Be careful. Be careful of it leading you into the wrong one. Yeah, I've deliberately given it you so you don't have to think about it. But I also understand that's complicated because you're used to saying la situation dans la situation now. But just think which one you're in. Then we come to the questions. Qu'est-ce que je mange? What's the question with the red? Je parle de quoi? What's the question with the blue? Je pense à quoi? Yeah, so qu'est-ce que, de quoi, à quoi? What's my ce options? Je parle, shut up, Luc sait ce que je mange. What's my equivalent with the red? Luc sait ce dont je parle. Luc sait ce à quoi je pense. Yeah. Get that down. Got one more to go next Tuesday, and we'll be fine and ready to do lots of conversation stuff.
Oh God, I'm scared.
No. Just remember one thing, Shweta. Don't say your vowel, sit on your vowel, go really slowly. You've made so much progress with your voice. The whole purpose of these first 6, it's not just to teach you grammar, it's to teach you to listen to me and to repeat the sound in a long way. Yeah, go long. Yeah, you've got such a quick rapid fire brain. Slow it down and slide. Because that's how I then get you faster again, is by getting you to slide through it. You know, we got to do the slide. But good, you've understood the concepts today. It's very intense one-on-one. You've done very, very well by yourself. You should be proud of yourself. Very well. You've given me 68 minutes of full concentration. Good fucking job, you. You've understood the concepts. Well fucking done. Well done. High five, hand clap. I will see you next Tuesday. Good girl, yeah? Nice fucking work.
Okay,
well
and a coffee link?
Yeah, just paste through Kofi. It's
Okay,
fine. All right.
Okay.
When we're up and running in the conversational classes, it's exactly the same. It doesn't go changing money. I don't go, oh, now we're doing conversation. It's the same shit. If it goes on for 2 hours, if we were all having a really good session, I'll be like, right, fine, fucking double it. If it's like an hour and 20, I'm like, fine, whatever. The basic rate is, you know what the base rate is, fucking whatever. Okay. I don't do the group to make money. I just want an accessible group thing that people can do. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. People are like, Luke, you've done an hour and a half. Let me give you something else. That's on you guys. It's cool. Yeah. All right. Well done.
Bye.
Okay. So
the private fee. Yeah.
I'll send you the amount because it's obviously more. Yeah. Good.
Bye. You have a good day. Oh, you have a good night. Bye.